What is the latest you've ever showed up for a flight? In 2019, I traveled all around the world, 117,000 miles, 65 flights, 9 trains, and a handful of boats. I'm gonna tell you about the time that I've been latest to any flight I've ever been on and how I handled the situation. So I essentially showed up 30 minutes before takeoff, way after baggage check was closed. There was no way I was missing this flight. My friends and I were flying from Berlin to Ukraine. We already had plans to meet some friends there. We were sharing an apartment. We were already all committed. There was no way I wanted to stay another night, potentially be out another couple hundred euros, pay another couple hundred euros for a different flight. This would have all just been one huge mess. So I channeled my inner Obi-Wan Kenobi and used the Force. Now, how did I get myself into this situation? I was in Berlin, 2019, July, middle of the summer. And I was there for a whirlwind trip. Was there for a couple days. And on the second to last day, I decided to go on a walking tour to explore more of the city, understand what Berlin's like, be a little more cultured.
We met up in Pariser Platz, one of Berlin's most famous squares and home of the Brandenburg Gate. Fun fact, right across from it is the Adlon Kempinski Hotel, where Michael Jackson went viral for dangling his baby off the balcony. The Queen and Dalai Lama have stayed there, and rooms can go up to 20,000 euros a night.
That year, I was aggressively intermittent fasting. So I was easily punching in 17, 18 plus hours a day. So though I showed up at the walking tour at noon with an empty stomach. And there was a whole hodgepodge of people from all around the world, as most walking tours have. There are people that would never be caught in the same room had it not been for this tour. There was a group of girls that looked like they just came straight out of the Matrix and all this like goth patent leather black. And then their one civilian friend who was like in jeans and a t-shirt. And we had this incredibly charismatic, knowledgeable, funny tour guide.
They form a queue, they show their passport, and everyone else just charges through behind them. East and West United.
So by the end of the tour, it was around 5 o'clock, the Matrix girls, the tour guide and I, we decided to get the local experience and have drinks. You can probably see where the story is going. So on an empty stomach, just start pounding down rounds of the drinks. And one of the girls and I continue the party.
Let's go this way. No worries. You're just causing damage everywhere you go.
What is that?
Check this out.
What is
Hold on.
it?
1, 2, 3. Check that out. This is cool, right? Check it out. Hold it.
Okay. I feel like this is Black Mirror. Like, I don't know, it's YouTube. You do this or something,
Basically,
like,
yes.
weird.
There's a chip in our heads now.
We can't go that way. They had it. The skull and the butterfly with one god.
Oh, I do
God,
see
one
that. That's
god.
fucking tight. Which one is?
Cats have, for a long time, been considered deities. Egyptians.
Egyptians, I was thinking that too, yes. Yes. Why are they like mischievous creatures versus like dogs are always like obedient and like...
Because I feel like dogs follow humans around, cats don't.
Cats don't. Get the fucking pizza.
We go elsewhere. We go back to my place for a little bit, pass the time, and I start feeling very dehydrated. I have a headache, and I'm pretty sick. Like, we had originally planned to go to Berghain, which would have been probably my best shot, to go with this person that probably was like, looked like she was born in Berghain. Unfortunately, I didn't feel good enough to go, and I'm pretty good about rallying. This girl was a complete sweetheart and just tries to take care of me, fetches me some water, and she had this hangover remedy. So she goes out, comes back with a shot of an espresso and a slice of lime. And she said the caffeine and the vitamin C will get you going and start making you feel better. So roughly around 4 or 5 in the morning, I start feeling pretty normal. However, I have a flight in a couple hours. My friend and I originally planned to meet at 6 a.m. at the train station. And we would take the train to make our 7:55 a.m. flight with Wizz Air. Around 5:30, 5:40, I was like, well, I need to repay the favor. Being a complete dumbass, but a heartfelt person, I knew I wouldn't have enough time to basically hang out and pack and make it on time, but I do it anyways. And so I show up at the train station at about 6:10. Train not there, surprisingly, and neither is my friend, so I can't get a hold of them. Weirdly, in Germany, you'd think it'd be technologically advanced and very on top of it in this way, but if you buy a SIM card there, once you run out of data, you can't just go buy additional data and top up. You have to wait for the expiration of your SIM card, which is usually about a month. So I was only there for a couple days. Somehow I blew through 20 gigs, which doesn't make sense to me. And I was unable to use it whatsoever. And I'm stuck at the train station, 6:30, 6:20 in the morning. I'm literally dragging all my massive suitcase in this huge backpack, trying to get a hold of a store to get Wi-Fi, and everywhere's closed except for this one cafe. So I knock on the door and this woman, she's like, no. I just point to my phone. She cracks the door open and I said, flight, Uber, need Wi-Fi. And somehow she is able to give me access to her Wi-Fi. I order an Uber. I get a message from my friend. I said, hey, are you here? And he says, no, I'm not. I'm already on my way. I get into this Uber. It's already 7 o'clock. Checking for bags are over. And I asked this guy, hey, one, tether, whatever, got a hold of tether. And then two, does this even make sense? Like, should I just turn around? Like, I'm probably not gonna make this flight. It's virtually impossible. And he just turns around, looks at me, he's like, I don't speak English. So I was like, fuck, well, I'm committed now, I'm already on the way. So on the way, my friend gives me some positive encouragement, and he's like, yeah, no, you could totally make it, and blah, blah, blah. A little bit later, he's like, yeah, you're not gonna make it. So anyways, I show up to the airport, I go to the front desk, I just try to talk my way in, pull every trick out of the bag, just, try to find any single way to be able to get through to this person and get on this flight. All she has to do is be like, go in. So, I just go at it until at one point she's just like, you do not understand the situation. And I was like, no, I understand the situation completely. I'm just looking for solutions. Can you please help me find something? And she just tells me to basically F off and go get another flight. I was about to succumb to defeat, and I was looking through flights, and I saw a few other options. Later on that day, a couple hours later, Ryanair, this airline, that airline, 250 euros. I was like, fuck. This might be it. I might have to just eat this and take this. This is what I get for being a good person and just maximizing the moments. And I get another text from my friend, and he's like, hey, they tried to charge me for my carry-on bag. Like, I think you could probably pay for bags up here. So I run back to the counter and I show this woman text, and he said, my friend is at the gate. He says I could pay for my bag. All of a sudden, this militant, hardened woman just softened up and was like, really? Okay, come on in.
He can go about his business.
You can go about your business.
In that moment, I turned into Obi-Wan Kenobi and just Jedi mind tricks this person and just used the Force, and somehow she's like, you may pass. And as I was passing, I was about to get into the security check. The security guard was telling me that I couldn't go in with bags. I said, oh, they told me I could pay from bags at the front. Come right ahead. Another Jedi mind trick.
Move along.
Move along. Move along.
And I'm just like running to get to my gate with this 40-pound backpack with all my camera shit in it, and this 50-pound suitcase that I've been living out of for basically the entire year. And as soon as I get to the front, I see a group of people crowded around like the computer. And for some reason, first thing I say as they stare at me was, just take my money. Because I knew they were gonna charge me for my bag. And everyone just starts laughing. And so we're getting down to it, and they're like, I was like, how much is it to pay for the bag? And they're like, they looked at each other. They didn't even have a price. They were like, 50 euros. They're like, 50 euros. I was like, cool, take out my credit card. I've had no issue with my credit card during all my travels up until that point, and it's been like 7 months. So I swipe, for some reason it's not working. And they're asking me, do you have cash? Pull out of my wallet. I have 35 euros. And I just give it, and I'm like, is that okay? And they look at it, they're like, yeah, that's cool. So I give them 35 euros. And then I'm on my way. In retrospect, I should have just been like, hey, I need 10 or 15 to be able to like get a taxi at the next place to buy if I give you the rest. But whatever. I was so happy to be able to just have a chance at this flight. So I was like, fucking just take it. So I'm being escorted by this guy, and he has my suitcase. I'm walking in, and I'm just like, this is crazy. There's no way this is happening right now.
This is the most spontaneous last minute thing I've ever done, and I cannot believe we made this. Where there's a will, there's a way. I'll tell you guys the story in a second.
I separate from the guy who goes to store my suitcase on the plane, and I board. And I'm looking for my friend. And all of a sudden I hear, no fucking way. And I see him, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, we are just in complete disbelief and in euphoria. And part of me felt like an asshole because there are all these people waiting, but the other part of me was like, plane wasn't gonna take off anyways, and here we are, and I made it. This is so epic. I cannot believe I Jedi mind tricked my way into getting on this flight that I definitely did not deserve to be on. 5 minutes go by. I'm chatting with my friend, whatever, blah, blah, blah. 10 minutes go by. I'm just like, the euphoria is starting to fade. I'm like, what's going on? About like 12, 15 minutes in, this couple just strolls casually on and just takes a seat as if nothing happened. And I was like, how the hell did this middle-aged couple just not only steal my thunder, but just get this late on a flight? Like, how the hell did this happen? I was rushing Indiana Jones style, running through obstacles, talking my way through people, and just like lugging 100 pounds worth of stuff. And these guys just stroll right on. What the hell? Whatever. At least we all made it. And we flew to Ukraine together with my buddy who looks like Kevin Love. And we had met up with my other buddy, Boris, who doesn't really have a doppelganger.
Just chilling with Kevin Love because the Cavs suck and he has nothing else to do. So, and this guy, he has no doppelganger.
Except for this one random guy that looked a lot like him on the train ride in. It was my first time in Kiev. And it was an amazingly beautiful and just warm place. I could just feel this good energy being there, especially in the summertime. And I didn't know that that would lead to some future Ukrainian adventures.
We made it!
This experience was a double-edged sword. On one hand, I learned that wherever there's a will, there's a way. There's always a way to get through to somebody and find a way to the destination. And on the other hand, it kind of was this weird realization that the world was letting me know that I can get away with so many things. Probably things that aren't even worth fighting for, to be honest. This is when I turned from young bull to old bull. Young bull was the one that could maximize experiences, get away with everything, do everything all at once and find a way to have it all. And then the old bull is more like, let me just pick my shots and not stress myself out so much. Let me just show up a little early so I don't have to deal with any of this bullshit. Go to the airport lounge, go have some sparkling water, maybe some food if it's good or worth it, and just chill. And then just stroll right up to the gate and get on my flight like a normal person. Which is what I do now. This was one of those experiences where I was like, you know what? I think I'm growing up.
In the Kiev airport, we made it. Incredible journey. We shouldn't have made it, but we made it.
Cappuccino?
Yes. We shouldn't have made it, but we made it.
Okay, I don't know how, but I mean, this is new level shit.
This was some new level shit. This is like some shit that you don't want to experience in life because it makes you know that you can get away with more shit in life. Like
No lesson learned.
Yeah,
Definitely no lesson.
the lesson learned is you can talk your way to almost anything.
There is no limit. There is no limit.
This is amazing looking cheese bread in Kiev. In the US, we call this pizza. This cheese bread looks phenomenal.
Thanks for listening to my adventures, the story of how I somehow miraculously made my flight from Berlin to Kiev, Ukraine. Was able to meet my friends, and we had the most amazing time. And I did not know that that would lead to some future Ukrainian adventures. Let me know, what was the latest you ever showed up to a flight or a train ride or some bus? Did you make it? Have you ever missed any flights? Check out this next video, another adventure of mine that I'm sure you'll love. Stay tuned and see you next time. Peace.